Hey, it's me, Talia. So, have you been doing? I've been doing fine as well, but procrastinating a little bit. As long as little bit means pretty darn lot. At this point, I think I've pretty much unlocked the pro levels of procrastination. A master procrastinator, some of my friends say. And that's why I have decided to set up my first ever bullet journal. To hold myself accountable, to be more productive, and hopefully to be a lot more creative. I know, I should have done this at the beginning of the year, and it's almost February, but you know what they say. It's better late than never. So, dear friend, why don't we sit together and plan my first ever bullet journal? So, I bought this baby blue, or is it powder blue? I don't know. It's definitely one of the two. Anyway, I have bought this blue bullet journal to be my first bullet journal buddy. How is the quality of the paper, you ask? Well, I guess we'll know together. So, on the first page, I thought of having a beautiful cover page welcoming 2022. It's late by a month. Again, I know, I'm sorry, but I hope that 2022 will understand. To keep it pretty simple, I have 2022 in big bold numbers to mark a new beginning. The past 3 years of my life haven't really been the absolute best. Although there were moments to be thankful for, the lows were more than the ups. And I know that it has been the same way to a lot of people out there as well. And that's why I hope for 2022 to be a new chapter in my life. Now, I don't want to have high expectations for the year, but just that the year is filled with more positive experiences, lots of love, and laughter. And with these bold numbers, I had to obviously go for a beautiful design layout to fill the entire page, and I found this very beautiful layout on Pinterest with grey leaves and yellow flowers, which was perfect in a sense to welcome a new beginning. Flipping through, on the second page, I have the year at a glance, so I can go back quickly when I need to see a calendar. I'm not going to leave any space here for dates or tasks. I'll just keep it plain and neat for reference. I'll just quickly fill in the dates and get on to the next one. Now, this is a bit of a tedious job. I mean, you have to do the same thing 12 times, but thankfully, you only have to do it once in 12 months. Right next to the calendar, I want to make space for a quote to begin the year with. This one is by Salvador Dali. It says, "Have no fear of perfection, you'll never reach it." I have this tendency to be really engulfed by the idea of perfectionism and overanalyze literally everything and anything, which is partly or mostly the reason why I procrastinate a lot. So I want to come back and look at this quote and hopefully remind myself that reaching perfectionism is nearly impossible, and that I should not hold myself back because of a highly romanticized idea that is perfectionism. And then below it, I'll just divide the page equally for my goals for the year. The reason I have kept a small space for goals is because I want to set fewer goals that I can achieve rather than keeping high goals and expectations and then beating up myself for not having done that. This year, I want to set myself fewer and more realistic goals that I can achieve and hopefully add on some along the way as the year builds. On the other half, I have the keys or legend to kind of have a system around my journal, like dot means task, a cross on the dot means it's done, and so on. I also have this tendency of overworking myself. Like, even when I'm sitting still, I keep thinking about what needs to be done and constantly cooking up more work to do. So, this year, I also want to take some time out for entertainment and make sure that I have some fun. So, on these two pages, I have the entertainment section where I'll write out all the TV shows I watched, movies I watched, books I read, and music I love to sort of track to see if I've had enough entertainment this year to maintain my mental sanity. Flipping next to a fresh page, let's put the month at a glance here. Okay, so I want to add some creativity here and make a cover page for the month and welcome February in style. So, like I said earlier, I want to be more creative this year and possibly learn lettering and doodling. I'm not exceptionally good at either, so I want to learn it. Fun fact, did you know that we have beautiful typography today in computers and smartphones because Steve Jobs once took a calligraphy class in college. He stated in his Stanford commencement speech that he could not have connected the dots looking forward. My point is, you never know when and what you have learned will be useful. So it's important to keep learning, kids. I'm sure I have put you to sleep with that fun fact. So let's come back to journaling. And right next to monthly cover is where I plan on adding important dates of the month. So if you noticed, I did not add any important date section in my year at a glance. So this is where I thought I'd place it just so I don't have to repeat it over and over again. I also will add a column for goals and tasks I want to complete in that particular month. This will be different than my yearly goals. My monthly goals will be like baby goals to complete the main goals, and at the same time, some task I need to get done in a particular month. And under it, I also want to add a section to track how much I spend in February and a place to write a quick and small review on how the month felt overall. And up next, we have the habit tracker. Again, I don't want to add in a lot of habits and beat myself up. I just want to keep it minimal and add fewer habits that I know that I can follow and add in an extra one like getting 8 hours of sleep to see how I can keep up with it. And hopefully, as the habit does form as the time goes on, I want to add in more healthy and productive habits that I can keep up with as the year progresses. Take one step at a time kind of a thing. I actually thought that this page would turn out really pretty as I imagined. At least it was in my head, but I kind of messed it up. But it's okay, I'll just go back to refer to Salvador's quote from earlier. Anyway, on the next page is my dedicated gratitudes list. I think this page is very essential as we tend to take things for granted. Of course, it's not completely wrong to complain about things sometimes. I cannot sit here and argue that you should be positive no matter what happens. That's probably where it becomes toxic positivity. But if we start complaining about every little thing, it sort of becomes a habit. So I feel it's important to jot down the things we are grateful for and look upon it every day to remind ourselves just how much there is to be grateful for. And a gratitude list does just that. It flips the mind to focus on the good and brings in a positive perspective. And the next page is the weekly log to plan out each day in advance so there is mental clarity on what needs to be done. I feel like when you achieve those little tasks, it helps us become more productive by the feeling of accomplishment, even if it's small. Now, this is also a page where I hope to get a lot more creative. Maybe not today, but I do hope to be more creative. Like I said before, the reason I decided to start a bullet journal is to be productive, and with that, I also hope to find my creative side. As we grow up and become adults, we sort of put all of our creativity in a box and put it in a back seat. Somehow, our education system also focuses a lot on academic education where creativity does not have a place, even when creativity is so important. It not only puts us in a good mood but also helps us find innovative and creative solutions to problems in life in general. But the world we live in doesn't give it a lot of importance. I was no different. 7 years back, I put my creativity in a backseat, trying to focus on getting through grad school and get good grades. While I did that, I lost a part of myself. It took a worldwide pandemic, self-isolation, and a lot of problems in my life to actually bring that creative side in me back. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I hope to explore more of my creative self this year. And hopefully, journaling will be the beginning of it. So now that my journal of 2022 and February is ready, I'll just quickly give you a tour of what we have so far. On the first page is where I have yearly cover with this beautiful layout. On the next page, I have my year at a glance, basically a calendar where I can look up major holidays and dates. Next to it is a beautiful quote on perfectionism by Salvador, and under it is the keys and my goals for the year, which I hope that I'll be able to keep up with. On the next page is the entertainment page to hold myself accountable to have more fun in 2022. where I'll write down my favorite movies, TV shows, books, and music I saw, read, and listened to in 2022. Next, we have month at a glance to note down important dates and tasks for the month and hopefully to track how much I spend in a month. Flipping through to next, I have my habits tracker to track a few habits that I can keep up with. And oh, I also fixed the spelling mistake that I did from earlier. And then is my gratitude list to remind myself of all the good things in life to focus on. And lastly, I have my weekly log where I focus on smaller tasks and goals I need to get done to build towards my bigger goals. And with that, it's pretty much a wrap. That was my planning for 2022 and February. Of course, there's more to come, but until then, take care, my friend.